We now move on to the first panel discussion for the day. I will invite the panelists, and as and when I call their name, they will come to stage. Namrata, Nulwalla, ESG and Sustainability, Rustomjee, is a seasoned leader in ESHQ and social accountability with over 30 years of experience. Namrata holds a master's degree in environmental science from Wright State University, USA. Currently serving as the ESG and advisory lead at Rustomjee, she has a proven track record of implementing high standards in management systems, benchmarking global best practices, and delivering exceptional results. Namrata, please. Nidhi Aggarwal, director at Signature Global Group, holds a master's degree in business management from London and a Bachelor of Commerce honors from the University of Delhi. She also has expertise in SAP implementation, policy formulation, and fixed asset register development across different industries. She is dedicated to enhancing customer experience and ensuring operational excellence, aligning with the company's vision for growth. Shweta, Rathor, AVP HR, Ajmera, Realty, is a seasoned HR professional with expertise in talent management, organizational development, and building high-performance teams. She has been instrumental in shaping the HR strategies at Ajmera Realty, focusing on employee engagement, continuous learning, and performance management. Seema, Vakharia, COO, Xpedeon, has been an integral force behind the journey of Xpedeon, where she has held diverse roles throughout her career, including developer, consultant, project manager, product designer, and documenter. The focus is on building scalable processes and strengthening teams to support Xpedeon's rapid growth. An electronics engineer by training, Seema briefly attended IIM Calcutta before leaving to commit herself entirely to algorithms. Dr. Shashi Goswami, Deputy Manager, Afcons, is a seasoned HR professional with over 15 years of diverse experience across multiple sectors. She holds an MBA in HR from NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research and a degree in BHMS, having initially practiced as a homeopathic medical doctor. Don't ask her homeopathic questions here, please. A certified train-the-trainer professional, Dr. Goswami is passionate about delivering and facilitating high-impact training programs. I will be your moderator for the evening, for the morning. What's your superpower, the legacy you want to leave? You know, as women, most of us, that's what it said, it generally is there, that women do not let other women grow. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true, that holds true anymore. Like the fact that women cannot handle money, that's another, a myth. It's far forgotten. But here we will talk about women and the legacy that they want to leave behind. All of them are established, independent, leaders in their own way with a thought and a mind of their own. So today we'll find out how it is a legacy that they want to leave. Namrata, I'll start with you. You're strong on ESG and sustainability, a theme that is going around the world everywhere. Everybody's talking about net zero by this and set benchmarks for themselves. How would you encourage others to follow suit to make the earth a better place?
The first thing first is the difference between sustainability and ESG is something that I think everyone needs to know, because we use these words very, very easily, and ESG has become a buzzword. It all starts with sustainability. So the sustainability basically is 3 pillars of environment, social, and governance. That is what it is. And a fine balance between the 3 pillars is what sustainability is all about. ESG are matrices that you are measured against to understand how well your organization or your company is taking care of sustainability. So this is the big difference between the 2 terms. Now coming to how would you want to make the world a better place or the earth a better place in terms of sustainability, I think charity begins at home and you start with yourself. No government policies or government can actually do make a difference unless you make a difference. So as individuals, I think we all have a responsibility towards the planet, towards the people, and towards the profit of the organization as well. So that's what I say. Start at home, take care of the environment, do things that you can do at home, take care of the resources that you're consuming, be mindful about the waste that you're generating. Try to reduce, recycle, so on and so forth. I think everyone knows what environment is all about, so I'm not going to train people here. Also, coming to people, the social part is very important, is how many lives can you impact in the right way at a personal level. So do your own personal CSR. Everyone talks about CSR now. You can all do a personal CSR. We can all do that, you know. So maybe educate a child or take care of your domestic help, see if they have a better quality of life, take care of your other, help that you have at home or outside. I think that's where it all starts. You can make Earth a better place.
Thank you. Nidhi, your company, Signature Global, has been an ardent follower of sustainability. I mean, all your projects are EDGE certified or IGBC certified. How does it start here at the design stage for you? I mean, how are you an inherent part of this program?
First of all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the panel, Jayashree. Really excited to be a part of it. And coming back to your question. Coming from a generation, I actually feel that sustainable homes, yes, they are the answer. Like every customer wants that. Okay, and I think our company also understood that at a very early stage. And when we even talk to our architects, when we talk to our design people, we are always thinking how to make the homes more sustainable. Even we even go to one more step ahead where we do sustainable construction as well. Okay, we are trying that, even the construction practices, we try to take sustainable measures so that we are able to save something in it. Similarly, coming back to the homes, I just feel that we have an aim for next 10 years. We have an aim for next 10 years where we are actually planning to start, creating net zero homes. We are on that way. But yes, right now we are working towards those, giving them 1, 2, 3 extra things that can actually help create those homes more sustainable, green homes. So yes, we are working anytime we are discussing with any architect, any design team, that is the first thing that we want to tell people. Okay, this is what we want, even if it can be, let's say, the, like the wind flow, the light, the water, everything, we just try to do that. And I think step by step, we'll start learning more and we'll see what other people are doing, the benchmarks and all. We are working on it, and I hope in future we are able to create net zero homes. So yeah, I think that's that.
That's a wonderful initiative. Coming to you, Shweta, as a woman, as an HR person, you come across all kinds of people, I mean, of course, in a city like Bombay, there are always people looking for jobs. Especially when you hire women. So what are some of the strategies that, can help women achieve the success at their workplaces, especially in male-dominated roles?
Hello, good morning, everyone, and yeah, good question. So, first and foremost, the women themselves have to come with a very clear mindset. Sometimes it's very self-imposed bias that stop them from, applying for job into real estate or a construction-based industry. So, my strategy to people would be more in terms of, the women's should, it's a good sector. For the women's. There's a great diversity recognition which is happening for the women's to enter into real estate and construction. So overcome the bias, be relevant, trust on yourself, be assertive to put across your experience and expertise to the people. Sometimes it so happens that traditionally deemed to be a male-dominated industry, women tend to hold themselves back with the fear of not being heard, or maybe, the ideas would not go down well. And the step one is overcome that. And then I think the journey will be fabulous.
Thank you, thank you. Seema, like you have been a very multifaceted person, I mean, though you're not real estate, but, a lot of your clients, all your clients are real estate. I mean, the real estate is not a sweet world, okay? I mean, we all know that. But, of course, one has to deal with all kinds of people. So, what would be, if you had to advise women, to be, how to be a mentor, or how to grow in their field, what would that be for you?
Actually, the first place to start is just to be interested in people. interested in each person. So when you look at individual people's journey, at least as women, and I'm fortunate to have amazing women leaders within Xpedeon, within our organization as well, I perceive the difference is to give them the confidence to be able to draw their boundaries. We all know, as women on this panel, that we are torn in multiple different directions. And apologies to all the men here, but it is a different world. But one thing I do recognize is once you give women in your organization the confidence to be able to draw those boundaries and navigate these challenges and say, I own my time, and that too without guilt, it's at this point in time that they can learn to prioritize what's important in that moment. And so sometimes there will be times where you prioritize your work, and there will be times you prioritize your family. But that's fine, and that's how women become leaders. And that's how they bring to the fore their empathy, their quality of nurturing, which I feel make us such amazing mentors and leaders.
I know. I think it's ultimately all about having a mind, a very strong mind of your own, you know. I mean, you know.
Yes, and ultimately being able to do so without having to constantly second guess and say, oh, I'm looking at my work, oh, I'm looking at my family. You do both, and you do both with confidence. You stand your ground and say, this is what I am, and I am both. And I bring both with me to whatever I do.
I know. I understand. Okay. Dr. Shashi comes from a different world of infrastructure. That is a totally different ball game. You know, like they build airports and dams and God knows what else, so many things. so the entire, I mean, whatever you use, metros, everything, you know, I mean, practically. Yeah.
To this hotel property, to real estate, to metros, bridges, high-speed rail, you know, coming up in Mumbai, quite a unique project.
When is that coming up, by the way?
It just started, so, you know.
Okay. So what are some of the hard lessons you have learned, you know, in infrastructure?
See, coming from a medical background, you know, I'm being conditioned and trained to bring solutions to people. And I follow the same in corporate world as well. So be it bringing solutions as an HR to the business side, and being in Afcons, being an infrastructure core committee, core EPC contractors, we have new projects every time. You know, different geographies, different location, new project team coming together, new mindsets coming together. So that challenge is every time. So for me, the hard lessons is, again, getting into that human dynamics at that micro level and trying to bring that synergy among that new project teams, among those people. So that's a continuous change, and only change is constant, you know, especially for EPC, I would say.
Next time you have a project coming in Switzerland, I don't mind becoming a project manager.
Great, would love to see you on board.
Okay. So coming to Nidhi. Nidhi, you, I mean, you know, obviously, so, you know, I mean, your dad is, Rashmi, apologies, Rashmi. So Nidhi is the CMD, I mean, the chairman, founder and chairman's daughter, and very kind enough to come all the way from Delhi. She's just come only for this panel, so I'm very grateful to her. So Nidhi, considering that you're still learning the ropes, you know, you're going through a learning curve and all that, I'm sure you must be having a team that you look after also. So what is the kind of tone that you set for your team?
Okay, first of all, thank you again for introducing me like that. And I feel really happy when you introduce my dad like that. Like it's really nice. And yes, coming back to your question, leadership is very crucial in any industry. It is very important. You know, this role is very, very important to drive business in a successful way. So, as to what I do, for me, I think I'm somebody who follows more of a bottom-up approach rather than a top-down approach. Like, I feel I have always learned it through my dad and my uncles and everybody around me, all the leaders, that, you know, it's everything that you always, whenever you are taking a decision, it's all about, you know, discussion. It's all about understanding the ground, understanding what is happening at the ground, what is the problem, what can be the solutions. So I've always encouraged my team, you know, that, you know, any decision that we take, we'll take it together. We'll have discussions, we'll have, like, anybody who feels, okay, this is something that needs to be put in front, I always try to listen and I always try to encourage that. Also, I feel since all the team members, like, I personally take care of CRM team and, customer experience, it's a very important thing for CRM, right? So I always tell them that, okay, you need to bring your personal goals and your personal as in the professional goals and the corporate vision. I try to help them relate it so that, they can actually work in a more better way. I think another thing that I feel, setting the tone in the team, I think it's like setting a very clear goal, very clear goals. Okay, this is this is what needs to happen. Now, how it needs to happen, we can work together on it. I'll be there to help, and other people are there to help as well. So this is something that I believe in that. And the last thing that I'll say is, once these things are achieved, once these small, achievements are, once they achieve that, so it's always about celebration as well. So in our company, we have this thing called RNR, that is rewards and recognition, and we do it on monthly basis. So everybody who's achieving the goal, we just want to celebrate those things, okay, so that they feel more empowered or they feel more excited to, again, next month they can go back to their work and be like, I want to come on the stage and, I want to get that recognition. So I just feel that these small things are very important as well. So I think, yeah, that's what I try to do, and I'm still learning, so yeah.
Very good, very true. I mean, it's nice. It's always nice to, reward employees. I mean, these are small things that, that people look forward to. Namrata, coming to you. All of us, whether immaterial of men or women or whatever, everybody has a role model. Everybody has some role model. Maybe some people like a disruptive person, some people like an innovative person, somebody who goes in for a kind person, So what is some of the traits that you admire amongst the leaders you have worked with?
Interesting. So, yeah, I've always had a mixed bag. So I'm going to talk about the good ones and not follow the ones that I didn't think I admired.
Sure.
Yeah, the first person, I think, who was actually, who mentored me was from the first organization, actually not the first, but where I had my longest innings was Det Norske Veritas, DNV. It's a Norwegian certification company. And I started there way back in 95. And it was to do with environment. And interestingly, now when I look back, I was the only lady auditor in all of India and the only lady trainer in all of India. And second to my mentor. Of course, he was a male. But the way he mentored me, the way he was actually there, right there, always present, sharing his knowledge and his understanding and his wisdom, if I may say so, with me, not at all insecure about anything because he knew that she's coming up, right? Always willing to learn, hungry for knowledge. He gave me his best. And something that I always admire about him is also that he always took a feedback from me. I mean, I was just nobody. But for him to take a feedback from me showed how humble, how down to earth he is. He also wanted to know whether he is doing the right thing by me. Was he training me correctly? So I think I always remember that. And somewhere I think my formative years, it was ingrained in my mind that as a leader, you need to be there, you have to walk the talk, you have to be standing right in front and leading your people. You can't just be behind and saying, okay, you do this, you do that. You need to be right in front. So I think that is something I admired a lot. Worked with him for 10 years, and I learned a lot. Thereafter, of course, there have been many others who have come and gone as I have progressed in my career. But he's one person I always will remember, admire, and thank him a lot for whatever he did for me. Yeah.
Excellent. Seema, coming to you. As CEO of a construction software company, construction software is not a small, it's no joke. It's not everybody's, cup of tea. But having worked in this industry, so what are the kind of barriers, you may have encountered, in this industry, so that, for your own growth, for your own person?
Actually, to be very fair, it's very, fashionable to say that I was held back or had barriers. But with due respect to all the men that I have worked with, I really did not find any barriers as such. That said, they could be more as perceptions or biases. Like when you go into a room and you're one of the few women there on the table, people don't know how to kind of like measure you up. Or rather, you are there, and especially if you're sitting in a pink dress, they are like don't know what to do exactly, right? So maybe more than that, it's a hesitation. And so what I need to always do is make sure that I hasten the way I establish my credibility and my capability more than maybe a man would need to do in the room. That said, once I have shown what I can bring to the table, it's not about gender. It never has been. It's about the individual and what they contribute. So I would say confidence and capability is the way to go. And I think now we're beyond that, right? It's like barriers. Like me, at least I have had the good fortune not to face those.
Shweta, as an HR person, do you think empathy at the workplace is very important?
Absolutely. Empathy in leadership is a cornerstone, and it helps in not only inculcating confidence in the team down the line, but also to encourage innovation and create a more resilient organization. When people feel that, yeah, your point of view is going to be heard, valued, they will be more upcoming and forthcoming to give their contributions, their ideas. And that's how the organization can become more agile, resilient, and innovative. And that's something which gives a competitive edge, I guess.
Yeah, possibly. Because I understand, sympathy and empathy are, they're not exactly synonyms of each other, but yeah, you could, mix them up for each other. Shashi, yeah, it's working. It works. Everything works well here.
Great. Great.
Okay. Some of the hard lessons that you may have learned. I haven't asked you this question, right?
We've done that, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So organizations are working to increase gender diversity in infrastructure. Because I have gone to a lot of infrastructure companies, and I see a lot of women on the floor, especially doing accounts, most of them into accounting or HR or something like that. So how much of gender diversity exists in the infrastructure companies that you have worked with?
See, I won't be able to put that into a metric at the moment because it's quite dynamic. But then one thing is for sure, all the industries are making efforts to have that inclusive and that D&I on board. So is the infrastructure company. Now with infrastructure, the ballgame changes is because if you see the reciprocation, if you see the intake in terms of the civil engineers, the women who are pursuing bachelor's or a diploma in civil engineers, the conversion rate of converting those engineers into a professional engineer, that conversion rate is less due to reasons well known. But then yes, Afcons is taking huge efforts, and so is the industry and all the other EPC contractors. The only thing that inhibits or shies a woman is, I think, some of her conditioning, but then the resources are good enough in today's time, and we are there for each other to to boost the morale and confidence, and there are a lot of platforms and avenues to bridge that diversity gap.
So how different would hiring be? Since you're in HR, how different would hiring be a person for an infrastructure company versus a real estate company?
Real estate, at least the periphery, the boundary is defined. This is my boundary, this is my area, my utility, my compliances, my statutory, everything is quite defined and limited. Whereas in infra, due to different factors, the socio-economic, the political, the governance, the statutory, it's quite dynamic and you need to be very agile and, on your toe, on your foot every moment. So that's one key difference. I think even you would resonate with that, coming from the real estate sector. And but then it's not just the civil engineer and playing the civil engineer execution hat. We have women who are taking different roles, running a TBM, a tunnel boring machine, deep down in the earth. Whereas somebody who's taking the role of a company secretary or in accounts or in HR, or a planning or a design engineer. So we have women who are playing different roles in infrastructure.
I'm not going to Switzerland to run a tunnel boring machine. Huh?
No, we'll fly you. We'll.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I would like all of you to answer this one question. What's helped you build confidence?
Curiosity, to learn more, to be more, to understand more. And when you're learning a lot more than what you actually need to know, somehow I think you just get very confident about a lot of different topics. And so you're able to then communicate more effectively. You can put your point across more effectively. And when it's your own subject, if you're passionate about it and you're learning, obviously you get so much more confident about, talking about it or kind of prophesizing that passion. And so I think also somewhere I think confidence is, I won't say genetic, but it's the environment that you've been brought up in also. So I won't take it away from there. So it's, you've been given that confidence right from the beginning. So I was born in a family. I have two siblings, another, sister and a brother. And incidentally, both me and my sister are much more qualified than my brother. And so there was no stopping us. Fortunately, we could do whatever we wanted to do. And way back in 91, when I told my dad I want to go to the US and do my master's, he didn't even blink an eyelid. He said, you have to do all your stuff, paperwork. I'm not helping you with that. Okay, once you get through, you do your paperwork, then we'll see. So, but you go. So I think that also instills a lot of confidence. At 21, I was on my own, flying to another country, which I had never been to before. Yeah, that brought a lot of confidence. So I think that's where it all lies. So I would say every family needs to just make sure, it doesn't matter which, the son or the daughter, whoever wants to do whatever they want to do, please back them up. Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking to my sister just before this conference, and we were discussing about this confidence thing, and I'm still new to panel discussions and everything. So we were just discussing, confidence. What she even said that for me, I think it's a journey. It gets built with time. It gets built with, for me, at least for me, it gets built with, a little bit of mentorship as well. I've seen my dad being one of the greatest leaders in this industry. And I always want to be like him. But initially I was like, oh, it can come inherently to me. Maybe my dad is a leader. My uncles are, all of them, they are the biggest leaders I've ever seen, the best leaders. So I felt, okay, this will come inherently to me. But later on when I started on that journey, I realized that I have to work for it as well. I have to have right knowledge, right experience to actually bring that confidence to their level. So at that time I realized that it's a work. It's not very easy to have that kind of confidence when you see people, double your age who have actually very good experience to actually lead them. And another thing, I just feel that, yes, I have been very lucky to have great mentorship like my dad and my uncles. And I think that also builds confidence when you are able to discuss even small things with them. You are able to understand their opinions and maybe discuss your opinions with them. So I think, yes, again, coming back, yes, it's a big, it's a journey for me. But yes, it's very, yes, confidence is something that might come inherently, but people have to, to become the best in that, you have to work for it.
Just to build on what she said, step one is, as I had mentioned earlier, overcome your self-doubt. Don't think this real estate and construction, being a very conventional industry that you have, how can I do that, Many females, step one, overcome that. Don't doubt yourself. If need be, fake it till you make it. In the room of men's. And based on that, I guess, asserting your experience, being vocal about it, And advocating for yourself is very important. That's all from me.
I'm my own advocate.
And also other women, sorry.
Absolutely. So of course, part of confidence is the way you project yourself. I get that. It's how you are born, it's your genes, it's how you raise yourself, it's the opportunities you have in life, and so much more. But at various points in my life, when I was faced with something which I didn't know enough of, that's when you feel that you are not that confident. So what I believe in truly is preparation. When you go into a meeting, when you go into any kind of aspect of your life, prepare. Take a pause. Take some time. Prepare. Now, because you're prepared, you know what you're going to say is right. It's going to have an impact. The knowledge that gives you when you enter a room by itself gives you confidence. When you open your mouth, you're not spouting some rubbish. You are saying something that you know will appeal to people out there. And I think that gives me the confidence. So all that I need to do is, when I'm faced with something, like something that I've not done before, I will make sure I am prepared. And I think that brings confidence.
Agree. Taking a cue from her, it is about preparation. And for me, what works for my confidence is something I believe maybe I was born with it. That's the one thing. And having believed that, I have that confidence, I would also, take up these opportunities wherever I would find me lacking, getting ready for the job, doing my own R&D, no shyness in going back and opening the textbooks. Okay. And definitely the family I come from, my friends, they also encourage you to give out your best. So again, it enhances my confidence. And the organizations I'm associated with, my colleagues, my bosses, my HODs. So these are the things which have ingrained and helped me build my confidence over these years.
Okay, my final question, I think we're already over time. My final question again to all one of you. If you had to change 3 things about your industry, think carefully what you say. 3 things about the industry that you're in, what would that be? We are live on YouTube, huh?
Okay. So I'm from the con-tech world, right? It's a term that I like, construction. We are real estate and infrastructure-based companies, construction, SaaS software. So I will talk about my sector because that's where I start. So it's the way industry leaders perceive technology. It's like how they think. Like still, I think a lot of companies, by and large, look at con-tech as AutoCAD plans, Microsoft project plans, and accounting software. But it's so much more, right? In our industry, which is fraught with risk, has so much changing all the time. Change is the only constant. I think now it's more about, can I live without technology, or rather whether do I need it? It's a bricks and mortar industry. No, you have to be prepared. So the first change that I would like to see is how people perceive technology. That's first. The second thing is for industry leaders to be the change. They need to lead. They have to lead from the front. We've been fortunate to work with some amazing visionary leaders in this industry over so many years and so many geographies. And the common thread that I found in these leaders who are inspirational is that they perceived what the world would be like and moved towards that rather than adapting to where the world was. So basically, be the change that you wish to see. It's a term that is often used, a quote that is often used. And I would say that's what I would like to see people do, is don't just follow, adapt, be a visionary, think of what you want. These are things that I would like changes to be in.
Why not? For me, okay, real estate industry, what to change? I think first thing that I would like to change is, I want to stop calling it a male-dominated industry. Since I'm seeing so many women here, so I don't think so it's a male-dominated industry anymore. So yes, I want to change, even if there's a mindset for it, I just want to change it, that there's nothing like that. It's like same for everybody. It's like any other industry, any other place, any other company whatsoever. I think another thing, it's not about change. I'll say that what I want to change in real estate is when any individual is buying a house Okay, in India, it is always perceived that, oh, like, I think not in India also, it is perceived as something a very big investment, a very difficult process to go through. So I just want to make it easy. I don't want them to get scared or take like 1 or 2 years in making that decision. So I want this industry to grow to such level where if I want to buy a house even at 21, I don't have to get scared. For example, I can just go online, check it out, fill the forms. I can, the knowledge basically. So I just feel that right now it's a very scary process as somebody who's maybe 22, 23-year-old. So I just want for them to change in such a way that it becomes easy for them to acquire a house and not a lengthy process, lengthy and scary process. I think these two things I would like to change for now.
So, yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, I would say that it's a very changing landscape for real estate and construction, if I speak of it as of today. Also, with a lot of impetus given on the development of the country, it's a very promising sector for everyone, and the landscape is changing. So, if I have to point out we as a country, if we are looking at evolving, developing, competing with the likes of the other developed countries, government has to make it easy for everyone to build good homes, So incentivizing, there are many rural sectors in India itself who have different norms of construction, and, every state has got a different norm. That becomes a very tedious process for even the construction guys, people to work and give the homes efficiently. So, that's more on a geopolitical level, first and foremost. Second is, of course, capability building for people to buy homes. So that helps, the gross income of the per capita income of the nation has to enhance. More people have to be skilled, upskilled, looking at that direction. So if people have to buy a home, they have to be capable of buying the home. Working towards it is very crucial. And that landscape has to change. And third and very important is adopting technology in construction. If we look at countries outside of India, they're leveraging automation, innovation, and technology in giving better quality and in material as well as construction. So adopting that, introducing it in India, by India, that also is crucial.
Welcome to Xpedeon.
Thank you, that's from me.
Okay, so few changes which I would like to see in my infrastructure industry is coming from top to down, from client to subcontract, to contractors to subcontractors, and to vendors and suppliers. In that chain, I would like to bring in the sensitivity element. Everyone, be it my vendor supplier, be it my labor subcontractor, the stock supply contractor, everybody is contributing. Everybody deserves their share of acknowledgement and respect. So I would expect that to flow from the client to, this chain of hierarchy. Second, I would also like to have a sensitivity towards women workforce, not only as a management cadre woman. When I say management, taking up office jobs or, engineers, but somehow workforce who is at the ground level, my contract laborers, right now, definitely there is more of a men population, but in future there will be a dearth of contract laborers, and women workforce would supersede that. So we need to have that sensitivity at the ground level to those women contract laborers. And third thing, to attract more of this generation into infrastructure, I think we should make it more glamorous, make the sector more attractive, because somehow as an engineer, I would pursue a IT or an AI or aeronautics engineering, but not a civil engineering. So I think this forum would make it more attractive for the young workforce to enter this industry and sustain.
I have two civil engineer friends. They studied for 4 years civil engineering and then got into journalism. Anyway, thank you so much. We have a small token of appreciation for you. I would like to invite Vibhor Srivastava and Captain Edwin Saldana to do the honors. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.